Dialed in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these
because
studs.
they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
brews.
and brews.
Bucks and brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Just tapping on top. Nick's trying to open one of our sponsored beers from Grand Rapids Brewing, and it's trying to explode at him.
Very excited about this. It's funny because when we were reading the name of it, you say it way better than me, Frenchie.
Sur les nuages. Well, I took French for 2 years. I mean, I failed the last semester of French too, but that's mostly because I didn't give a fuck.
Hey, but I assumed French meant bubbles, and so I was very right about that. So this thing is bubbling over. Let's get a little more oxygen in her. Alrighty.
On the clouds.
Oh, I think we did have. I don't know. This is very light and very
On the clouds.
say. There we go. All right, I'm gonna drink this on the podcast.
All right. So while you have that, I've been gifted. I am sponsored tonight
Oh, really?
for my birthday from Mr. Nick Watkins from Destel Brewery, a wild sour series blueberry crumble. You know, I love blueberry, even though I'm not big on sour. So we're going to see how that goes. And then one of my favorite beers from Grand Armory, a Mother Schmuckers.
Yeah.
So you gifted me a nice 4-pack. I appreciate the thoughts.
I tried to find things that I knew you would at least somewhat enjoy and try to get you to try some new things because eventually we will get you to love this.
Have you tried this one yet?
No, but I say, and also right, that still is near and dear to our heart.
It is because they were our first beer sponsor.
they were, thanks to them. And
It smells good.
yeah, I'm excited. We ran into each other last night.
We did on accident.
Oh, we knew that there was stuff going on.
Yes.
You say, because I know you and Mike said, oh, I might make my way up to do some trivia. You're like, maybe. And I was like, And we're like, all right, let's go do some trivia over at Bobcat Bonnie's, which is always a bad idea. Like, they know.
We drink too much?
Not even, okay, I don't care about the drinking too much. Like, that doesn't bother me. It was $140 bill.
Oh, yeah. With tip, $159.
Yeah.
It's expensive every time we do trivia.
Every
there.
fucking time. Like, it's great because they have Bud Light on tap, but it's like $9 Bud Light, dude. Jesus. Yeah, I just it's fine. I'm not mad, just upset, right?
Right. So we're gonna actually talk
Oh, I kind of like that.
I do too. We're gonna talk finances tonight, but before we get into finances, let's talk about some other shit that's been going on. So Mike and I did another mental health podcast on Saturday.
Yeah.
And he inquired about the possibility of doing a dual Mad Men mental health and Bucks and Brews. Because we always do a couple mental health episodes a year, and he kind of wanted to get the Nick Watkins perspective on our other show.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna set that up sometime.
All right. Shit. Sorry, I got a new 3D printer. We should talk about.
Yeah.
That's got a notification.
How did you get a new 3D printer?
I sold one item for $30. Oh crap.
What?
Front cover fell off of my fan, so my kid can't fix that.
I mean, why?
Could, but I
It's literally all it does is magnetize.
Yeah, it is weird to me, but
That's a
Oh.
bummer.
it's all right. I'd call and tell her to fix it, but it's okay. I can keep it paused. I was just kind of hoping it was something I've taught her already before.
Right.
But
Well, that's what you're gonna do tonight is say, hey, this is all you do. Just take it back, let it grab.
Yep.
So yeah, you bought a new 3D printer.
I did, yeah. Because we did the
Pride event.
Pride event here at Break Room Therapy, and I said, if I sell one item at this thing, I will buy a new 3D printer because it was on sale. I wanted one. Looking at your stuff versus what I'm doing, and so one of your employees ended up buying one of my dice tower for $30, and I sold some dice that wasn't even 3D printed. It was and that was fun. But so I made $70 to spend $1,000, and because that those two numbers equate to each other, right?
They do.
But now I'm grinding away and printing as much stuff as I can. So that because my daughter's going to be selling.
We need to see if we can get in like Kalamazoo Geek Fest or something.
It's kind of it, right? Yeah. So because
if we can get a table down there, I don't know if they charge. If they charge, it's very cheap.
sure.
We could go sell some 3D stuff down there, and that'd be a good spot.
Yeah, I say in the Comic-Con thing, I think would be great because, I have non 3D printed stuff as well. I'd like to try to sell.
Yeah.
Just because my wife would like it if I didn't have 900 sets of dice laying
I
around.
don't understand why.
I don't either. It's all in a one bag. I mean, and then on the counter and on the table and
Right.
over on the shelf and in my bedroom.
It's
and,
kind of all over.
Yeah, but I don't see the problem. It's just like a fucking hide and go seek. I was like, what? Just consider it that. Have fun with it, right? No, not her. So, but, no, it is. I don't use them, right? I just
Yeah.
like them, so I gotta get rid of them. And then I forgot I have to build that world's greatest gamer.
You do.
with my screw ups.
Yeah, you need
so
to get on that. That probably will do something.
I'm hoping. So, but anyway, yeah. We're talking a little finance. I say some real estate stuff, how to find foreclosures, how to flip a house, and what to look for in a house for being flipped and things like that. So
And you are kind of the expert on this show because you're kind of the real estate guy.
yeah, I'm hoping. I'd say, and having this conversation so far, you guys have to bear with me. I don't know, for some reason my thoughts just aren't coming through clear. Hey, I'm sitting here going, oh man, like my brain, but I'll try to keep it as good as possible.
I'm sure we'll get you back on track.
Yeah.
I've mental health wise, I've been struggling a lot lately. You know that.
Yeah.
And drinking's been an issue because I'm, self-medicating with alcohol. So I'm trying to do a better job of not doing that so much. Last night was kind of a fit. I never got hammered last night or anything, but I was feeling good.
Oh yeah.
We were there 4 hours. I had 6 beers.
Okay.
I ate, so I was feeling happy. So Dawn wasn't annoyed with me. It's not like I overdrank. But at the same time, I've been over drinking a lot, so I'm really trying to dial that back some. So we have a new strict rule on this show after drink and draw: no more than 2 beers
For us.
for an episode for us.
Our guests are welcome to as many as they'd like, and we're willing to get them wherever they need.
Well, I want to plug next week. So next week we're going to go political a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
So we're going to have Peter Coulis Dominguez on. He is running for a judge seat in Kent County.
Yep.
So we're going to ask him all about that and what it entails. And I know one question he gets a lot when he's out on the campaign trail is, who do you support, Biden or Trump? And because he's going for a nonpartisan position, he cannot state that.
Right.
So I want to know kind of how he handles the deflection on that question and how people react to that, because some people really want to know. So, for example, got an email today from Sticker Mule. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, the Trump 2024, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I was on TikTok last night, and like within seconds, I mean, people were selling fucking shirts of
Yeah.
Trump fist, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude.
They
Like,
don't miss a grift.
No, these people, like, they're grinding, dude.
So I got that email, and I have not used Sticker Mule in well over a year because their prices have gone up, and Sticky Brand does a great job with stickers. So I use them pretty exclusively now. And I mean, when we need keychains or magnets or something, I'll have to find somebody, but it's not going to be them because I don't want to hear about your bullshit. And again,
Oh, well, I honestly, I just seen Trump 2024, and it said Sticker Mule or something, or
yeah. So basically, they put out a statement that the CEO is a huge Trump supporter, and we should come together. And
Gotcha.
okay, so there was an assassination attempt. We should all come together. But when there's an assassination attempt against the Speaker of the House's husband, when they shoot up schools, there's no we should come together. It's get over it and move on.
Right.
So I have an issue with, just because now it's happened to their guy, we need to come together. I got an idea. We can come together. Let's get some sensible gun control.
And that's it, right? Like, so I think we talked about it, and we'll constantly talk about it, right? The saddest thing in my life is the fact that they make a bulletproof backpack,
Mhm.
right? Like, that is something, I haven't looked into it, but I'm gonna spew fake things because that's who I am. a mass shooting consists of something 4 or more, or 3 or more.
3 or more, I believe.
Yeah, and so technically this was a mass shooting, the Trump thing, because there's 2 injured, 1 unalived,
Yep.
and 3 injured technically, and then the former president of the United States. So and so that's a mass shooting, and it's since July 1st, there has been like 17 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're 15 days into the
Yeah.
month, so
And then since January 1st, basically it's like 400 and something. So we average 1.5 mass shootings a day.
that is uniquely a United States of America
Okay,
problem.
yes.
They don't have these problems in other countries because they don't have access to weapons like we do in this country.
Mhm.
And they keep telling you it's your right to overthrow a tyrannical government. Let me tell you something right now. I want to be perfectly clear. If the government's tyrannical, you're not overthrowing it with an AR-15. They have tanks.
Right.
They have bombs. They have nuclear missiles. They're going to brush you off like you brush off a fucking mosquito. They don't give a shit about you. So you can sit here and pretend all you want that we have some kind of perceived power by the fact that we can go and buy as many guns as we want. All we're doing is making it less safe for normal people to conduct business throughout the day. And that comes from somebody who has a CPL and owns many guns. I'm not giving up my guns. But at the same time, if I had to wait 2 fucking months to buy a new gun, I have no issue with that whatsoever. Vet me, make sure I'm not a liability or an issue or whatever the fuck you need to do. Limit the amount of guns I can have from now on. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Limiting the amount isn't going to fix things, right? And
No, because you only need one.
let's say, and it was you that we were talking about. There was in our local area in a town, there was a guy who called and said he was going to unalive himself.
Grand Haven.
And 2 officers went there, told him to do some stuff. He didn't. Anyway, so you said 41 bullet holes.
They shot him 41 times.
Right. And
2 cops.
And that just means that your clip, you reloaded that, right? Like,
Or you had extra guns.
and so you did something.
And did you need to shoot him? He literally called 911 to say, I'm at the hospital. I'm going to kill myself. I no longer want to live. The dispatcher asked him not to do that. He said, I am an organ donor. I'm letting you know that way my organs can be donated. So the cop shot him 41 fucking times and now nothing can be donated because there's nothing left. So the one thing he wanted to do, he can't even do. And of course, their story is, well, he pointed a gun at us. But there's no evidence that he pointed a gun at anyone.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to figure out what the magazine holds.
I mean, that'd be nice to know.
15 rounds, 17 rounds. So 17, right? I mean, so you definitely have a second, or you have a reload, you have some type of a thing. So 17 round and a normal, and I don't know what weapon they have of choice, but right, you have most of them are walking around with like an MMP or something like that, right?
So our booker at Bucks and Brews sucks ass.
Our booker,
Yeah, the guy that books our guests.
He's pretty
because
lame.
like we were supposed to do something with Tres Gatos like many times,
At least a year,
and over a year because it was the first beer and donuts we did.
Mm.
And then we talked to him again this winter when we went to trivia.
Yep.
And I haven't done shit.
Yeah, good for you.
But we need to get him on.
We do.
And you want to know what made me think of this?
Go on.
I just got a message from our not fan.
Our not fan?
Very much not a fan.
Okay.
Because, and I quote, I listen to you 2 idiots talk all the time. I'm not going to sit there and listen to you talk about nonsense. I'll get to the nonsense in a minute. She is,
so your wife
yes, she is at a networking thing at One Well in Portage.
Oh, okay.
She was talking to the owner of One Well. He has interest in being on the show.
That's amazing.
Isn't that great? I mean, she supports us, but she won't listen to us.
She's the one that got us the Destel.
She is.
It's like she gets sponsors.
She's very supportive. She just doesn't want to listen to us. So
yeah,
we're driving back from Cincinnati on our vacation.
Yeah.
And I throw the score on because I want to hear what's going on with the Bears and stuff.
Yeah. The Bears.
And they start talking in the middle of a segment about Uncrustables.
Oh, good.
I've never had an Uncrustable.
Fuck.
I have never had. I
Like,
just
like
want to make a sandwich.
fuck. No, I don't know. You make sandwich. No,
No, that's what I do. I make a sandwich.
grow up.
So-
Grow up, David. Be a man. Get a fucking Uncrustable.
Uncrustables are very much a millennial thing.
Oh, sure. I don't give a shit. Okay, so my grandparents, because I was raised by old,
Yeah.
I would get so fucking I would get so yelled at.
Yeah.
All the time because
Because
you
you-
pick my fucking crust
Uh-huh.
off, right? Because I just didn't
I
like.
told Caitlin the same thing. I'm like, you're not cutting that shit off.
Yeah. And and then so I learned to eat my bad food first. However you like
The stuff you don't like as much.
right, you eat your broccoli first, right? Because you don't want your vegetable, like whatever. Granted, like broccoli, but I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
So the stuff you don't like as much, right? You eat that first. So I would eat my fucking sandwich with all the entire crust first, so that way I have the amazing inside of it.
Yes.
I still to this day
Eat it
we
that way.
okay say that, but it's very hard for me but like my last 2 bites of my peanut butter and honey, because like honey's really, it gets all over and sticky and I don't love it. I turn it around, quickly eat my little bit of crust, and then throw the rest of it in, so that way, because like otherwise it's just gonna come out. But that being, I still to this day eat my my Pop-Tarts, right? The outside.
The outside.
And
I do
yeah.
that too.
Yes. But yeah,
I do that with-
I'm Uncrustable. Okay,
I do that with cake donuts too. I will eat the outside first and then eat the inside. A regular cake donut, any cake donut.
cakes don't like what?
So cake donuts are, the more dense ones. And
Yeah.
yeast ones are the ones my wife likes, which
Yeah.
are like,
Airy and light.
filled. Yeah. If I have a cake donut, I will eat all around the outside before I touch anything in the inside.
I got most of my cake donuts are like they have a hole in the middle.
Right.
So like
So I just eat all of the outer edge.
really?
Yeah, I know it's
No,
weird.
I have a big mouth, so like
I've
cake
done that.
donuts from me are like 3 bites.
I've
Okay.
done that since I was a little kid, and
Really?
I still fucking do that to this day. It's the dumbest fucking thing, but it makes me happy.
Anyway, so you would love an Uncrustable. Okay.
I'm not
fuck-
saying I wouldn't.
Fuck the grape ones, okay?
So-
Anybody that thinks grape jelly is okay is just not okay in my book, all right?
So they go on for 20 minutes.
Yeah, good for them.
About Uncrustables, and my wife goes, "Why in the fuck are they talking about Uncrustables? They're supposed to be talking about sports." I said, "Honey, what you don't understand, and why you give Nick and I so much hate, is sometimes you just talk about real life, and for them right now, real life is 20 minutes of Uncrustables,
That's exactly it.
and I'm entertained by it. Other people are too. Some people are going to turn the channel because they don't want to listen to that shit. They just want to hear about the Bears' next move.
Yep.
Some people are going to go, well, this is interesting. I'm getting a peek into their life. I said, that's why we don't always stay on subject.
Okay.
So they go to commercial. They come back from commercial. 2 minutes in from commercial, they go back to Uncrustables. And she's
Oh.
like, are they fucking going back to this for real?
You-
And I tried to explain to her that people talk about their real life because that's the interesting stuff.
Well, and you know what? I'll be honest. Okay, I don't respect them in any way, shape, or form, but they have a presence. So let's talk about free beer and hot wings.
Yeah.
Greg and I don't even know.
Fuck if I know.
Anyway, say, but anyway, so that these guys are. I don't. Some areas have. I don't know who's listening that has this, but free beer and hot.
They're
wings.
local to Grand Rapids.
But they. I mean, now, but they were in Nashville. They're all over, and they do a bunch of stuff.
yeah, they're syndicated.
But like, right, like one thing I respect about them is they talk about, yeah, hey, like they talk about taking depression medicine. They talk about going to see a therapist. And it's like, dude, back again, I was raised by a man as a man, and you suck up your fucking emotions and eat it. And
Yeah,
do
you don't
this,
have it.
right. Like
Joy and anger.
if you go see if you go see a therapist, you're just a weak piece of
Yep,
shit,
yep.
right? Like that is who you are. Right? And so you get guys who are successful on the air and seem to be like this because they talk about car things and they talk about men things, but then they go, you know what? Went through a low spot there, David, and yeah, man, I'm seeing a therapist and seems to be kind of helping. Oh no shit. I don't think anything less of the fucking guy, right? Like, hey man, I'm glad you're still around, kind of a thing. And I say I'm gonna read a quick caption from a buddy of mine. He said he's like, hey man, what do you think of this? And so I quickly just hopped on a fucking call with him. Sorry.
Well, I mean, while you're looking for that, Angela told me today during our session, she goes, yeah, I referred another person on to yours and Mike's podcast because they didn't know anything about it. Obviously, we've not gotten any traction yet, but they were interested. There was 2 middle-aged guys talking about their feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we did an episode Saturday.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Okay.
But Mike sent me a message. He's like, I really want to do an episode on Saturday. I'm like, yeah, I'll make time for that. That's fine. Because it was important to him.
Yeah.
And being a good friend, I'm like, all right. We got up here. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? He goes, well, I have 3 things I want to hit on. I'm like, cool. We went an hour and 20 minutes. We usually stick to 1 hour.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was us going off on tangents, but a lot of us was the things he wanted to hit.
Well, that's it, right? I mean, if you can speak it out loud, right? Words become actions, actions become, self-care. And, I just say tonight you talked about going swimming and, I said LOL, right?
Yeah.
Because you got all drenched, but I'm like, there was 99% of me that was just like, fuck, dude, just come over and swim. We can say skip the podcast. But like, I know that I get happy doing this. It's it's a drag to get here,
Yes.
do it sometimes. Like but it's not like, it sounds so weird. It's just, I have things that I would almost rather like sit in my ice cold fucking basement and be like,
There are things you'd rather do, but once you're here doing this,
yeah, like there's nothing
everything's
else.
fine.
Right. I love
Yeah.
doing this. Like, and
Yep.
but and I know for my mental health, I need to do this because again, I get to vent and say things. But so here, right, a buddy of mine said, hey, should I post this or whatever? Right. You can have the fame, the glory, the cash, the fancy shit, and all the looks, and still be the poorest person in the world. Truth is, don't let looks fool you. Everyone is hurting in one way or another. And he had a buddy of his really close to him take his life. Um, you know, I I've had friends. I met 2, right? I'm waiting for the third one to take and it's just, it's weird because they both happened in June, right? Which is men's mental health, and it's like, man, this is insane to me. Um, but I said there's so much to that. Like looking and acting and doing all this with whatever you have. eh, Everybody puts on a fake front, right, of some sort, right? People will look happy and they're most depressed, right? And we just scared for Robin Williams, and I still think about that, right? The person who I thought was the happiest person in the entire world, right, ended his own life. Because granted, as a kid, it's all you seen this man was in happy, good, and great things,
Yeah.
right? So it kind of is scary.
There was a meme that I sent to Mike, and we talked about it on the other show, and I'll describe it in a minute.
Yeah. So yep,
So
seen that one.
this little girl asking this little boy, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "I'm fine." And behind him, there's this black cloud that says help, pain, sad, depression, angry, please. Not motivated. Because again, the most common lie any man will tell you is, I'm fine. And that's, I guess, dangerous is a good word for that. Because again, we're told to hide our emotions, be a man.
Yep.
So we don't allow them to come out. And then we get things like, road rage or alcoholism or drug abuse because we try to self-soothe in other more acceptable ways because, drinking is a very manly thing to do, is it not?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, right. Say you drink a whiskey or man, you drink a beer. Like, I mean, I say it's not, and okay, what do you, what do most people call that drink right next to you? Yep.
Girly.
A foo-foo drink.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I drink more Malibu and cranberries than anybody in America, probably.
I love quote unquote girly drinks.
Oh gosh, yes, right. But like, I don't know, but like, I'm known to do that as well, right? Oh, I don't know what do you got that's kind of girly. Oh, shit, I mean, fruity, right? Like, it's just we associate certain things that way, and it's like I don't give a shit, right? Like, I will do
I want it to taste good.
right. I will do a buttery nipple with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So good.
yeah, but so we get to that point where hey, men act a certain way, and I without coming across as what like I grew up with a not so accepting mom, not even just of me, but like, okay, so right, I love soccer now, right?
Yeah.
Huge Manchester United fan, and growing up, soccer was a communist sport, and you played football because that's what men do, and I had these sexist, bigoted guys as coaches and things like that. And, I say my mom still makes like the weird jokes, and it's like, Mom, geez, I'm crying. You like understand that? I'm 30 years, 25 years older now. Yeah, I happen to really, really like this sport,
Right.
right? Like,
You're a soccer fan.
yes, like it's well, what happened to back then? I learned, I grew the fuck up. That's what I did. Like I got my own opinion instead of listening to somebody else, right? Like I don't, you know, and also I say there was something in my life. I believe in winning and losing. Okay. I really do. I truly so and that being said, like people like MMA and boxing.
Mhm.
I don't. Will I watch it with friends? Sure. But like I don't believe that somebody's opinion. So the same with gymnastics, the same with cheerleading. I love watching my daughter do the gymnastics 'cause it's fun to watch her growth and things like
Yeah.
that. But like I hate opinions, right? Opinions just piss me off because your opinion is fucking stupid. Yours,
So let me ask you this.
yeah.
Do you like boxing or MMA if there's a
If
knockout?
there's a knockout, yes.
But if it goes to a decision?
Correct. It's dumb. That's why like I will watch because I know that there's a chance to see a knockout, right? And like you have a clear boom. But don't get me wrong, I'll just sit and watch highlights of the best knockouts of all time. And it's just boom, there it is. All right, cool, that was fun. But yeah, no decisions I don't like, right? Um,
No, because they're fallible.
and then it causes fights and arguments between people who, again, share different opinions, and I'm not an opinion fan. Um, I remember the Manny Pacquiao fight, and Pacquiao landed like 400 and something punches, and Mayweather had landed like 120. It was literally 4 times the amount, and things like that, and he ends up still winning, and it's just like, oh, you got to be shitting me! Like he landed 4 times more, had all like just all the stats were there, and it's like,
Well, the problem is when you fight Mayweather,
no,
you're not landing any good punches because his defense is so good that you're grazing his shoulder and shit.
but still, I mean,
I mean, I get what you're saying, but
you're landing this like, again, I'm not the professional, like, right? All I can do is see stats, right?
well, and Floyd's a great fighter. I'll take nothing away from him, but his fights are boring.
Oh yeah, very much. God, very much there. But that's like honestly, boxing, I only want to watch heavyweights.
Boxing's boring.
God, yes.
It's UFC's better,
Yeah.
but it's still not great because there's a whole lot of holding that goes on. I want to see Rocky.
Yep.
Okay, Rocky is great because all they're doing is sitting there and throwing punches for supposedly 15 innings,
Yep.
and you're only seeing the action, and that's all I want to see. I don't want to see two guys hanging on to each other.
Yep. Let's say I don't want to, and I think rounds are too long because really, right? You're getting into some of these where you're in the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th round, and just that's all you see is just these guys are exhausted. And it's like, man,
I think that's why there's so many people that love wrestling.
Yeah.
Even though wrestling is predetermined. There's a lot of action in wrestling. Now, there wasn't a lot of action in wrestling in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But once they hit the 90s, there were no more 2-minute headlocks.
Right.
Now there was action pretty consistently. And it's fun to watch.
Oh yeah. I watch little highlights and I want to get back into watching them. But no, I think there's a lot to learn for us as men. To the saying, it's okay not to be okay, right?
Yeah,
It's just-
100%.
and come to find out, more people in your life are not okay,
Mhm.
right? You think they are, and granted, the hard part is somebody like me, right? I always want to be able to fix people, right? I want to I can ask you, hey, you're all right. Like all I can do is really listen to you, kind of a thing. Can't tell you what to do and how to fix. I can give you advice, but I ain't no specialist.
Well, and
So,
we're going to wrap this up in a minute here, but I'm going to ask you some questions.
yeah.
How many people do you have in your life that you really would sit there and say, when they say is something wrong, that you would be honest with?
No, I mean, none.
Nobody.
Once in a blue moon, depending on how I'm feeling, my wife, but like usually not because I'm going to hear something about it, right? But like normally, no.
See, and
I will open up, 1 out of 100 times.
see, and that bothers me because I would hope you could be honest with me.
I mean, no, I mean, I open up. I don't usually wait for you to ask. I just like now that I know, like I just call and vent or call and do whatever.
Well, that's what I mean. How many of those people in your life do you have that would sit there and, hey, good to see you guys again there. But how many people do you have that you would be willing to do that with? Because I can tell you right now, Mike, you, probably Christy,
Yeah. Not many.
I might be at the end right there.
Yeah, not many. I mean,
And it's not that I don't trust the other people in my life or love the other people in my life, but I don't want to burden them with my bullshit.
kind of it.
Like, I have no problem burdening you with my bullshit because you go through a lot of the same shit that I do.
Right. Yeah, no, I just say, I don't know. There's a few people, like, depending on the situation and what I need and what I reach out to, right? Like, yeah, just little bits here and there, kind of.
Well, I don't think that's uniquely a man problem. I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
I think women have the same problem because I've heard,
yeah.
I've heard your wife, I've heard my wife both say, yeah, when I'm down in the dumps, nobody really gives a shit.
Yeah.
Which, again, they both give a shit about each other, but they don't ever reach out to each other really.
Right.
And then they piss and moan that nobody ever wants to do anything with them. But, you know, Dawn will say, hey, we should get together. And Courtney's answer is, yes, we should. Not, what are you doing next
Just
Tuesday?
say this date. Yeah. Well, that's
Which is what you and I do. We're like, hey, what are you doing next Tuesday?
Yep.
How did we get today's podcast? So I went, hey, can we do Wednesday? And you went, nope, that's my anniversary. I went, all right, well, let's do Tuesday. Yep, Tuesday's great. 2 days later,
Ring, ring.
can't do Tuesday because now I'm going to a concert with my mom. Ring, ring.
Yeah.
So Tuesday's out. And I
Yep.
said, all right, how about Monday?
Yep.
So we just throw things out there. Dawn gets mad. Nobody asks her to do anything. Mike never asks me to do anything. He goes, hey, I think I'm going to come up Saturday. I'm like, cool.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
That's it.
I'm here. I'm not. Right. You know, it's like, it's, I don't know. It's funny because, like, right, you guys are getting better at just going to the pool and stuff like that. But, like, you know, I have friends. Oh, hey, I randomly show up and, oh, I didn't know you were gonna be here or whatever. It's like, dude, I don't really care. Like, just give me a heads up that you're on your way, just in case just in case I don't have pants on. And
Yeah.
my wife and I have 20 seconds of alone time, and also, like, in case we have other people over, right? Like,
Well, that's usually how I'm like. I'm like, hey, just letting you know, I'm thinking about coming to use in the pool. Cool.
okay,
Saturday, I said that to you, and you go, check with Courtney. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Courtney, I'm thinking about coming to use in the pool. She's like, all right.
Yeah.
End of story.
right, and that's it. Like, you know, because I only know half of our life, right? That's all I can do. But yeah, I just don't know. And the funny thing is like, right, I know if it was you by yourself, you would have no problem if my other friends were there.
Don't give a shit.
Right. They might find it weird, but it's like, Jesus Christ, like, it's community pool, just fucking jump in.
Well, I know my wife wouldn't care.
Right.
My daughter might.
Yeah.
Depending, you know, on who's there.
Yeah.
All right, we've gone on for 30 minutes.
All right.
Let's get into the actual meat of this episode.
Meat and potatoes of my favorite part.
So my question for you to kick this off. So I've decided, let's say I've decided I want to flip some houses.
Mhm.
What type of houses should I be looking for? I would assume foreclosures.
Oh no.
No?
No, okay, so here's the problem. When
Okay.
you say the word foreclosure,
Correct.
I want you to tell me your definition of a foreclosure.
I think my definition is going to be different than other people's definitions.
Sure.
So typical people are going to say a foreclosure is something that's gone through all of the avenues of you've not been paying and you need to pay, and now you haven't paid in X amount of dates, and now we have a judgment to take your house. And it's going to go up for auction, and these people can now buy it.
Sure.
My idea of a foreclosure is I've missed 3 payments on my house. And the bank has basically said, you have X amount of days to bring this shit back to a point where we are not going to take your house. At that point, because I know you, at that point, to me, it's a foreclosure. It's technically a pre-foreclosure.
So you've defined a pre-foreclosure.
Correct.
Yes.
And those are the houses I would think are the best bets to go after.
So the answer is yes and no.
Okay.
All right, so here's the problem.
Yep.
We all think that foreclosures are the 2008 through 2010, right? We think that the people that are getting so basically, okay, what happened originally was, like, banks tried not to do foreclosures, right? They did these things called short sales, right? So you owe $100,000 in your house. The economy tanked. Your house only became worth 60. Okay, so there's a $40,000 gap there. Well, it's worth 60, but nobody's buying right now, right? So I come in and I pay 40 grand, and it's a foreclosure. Like, the person can't pay the 100 grand. Like, so,
Right.
So, and then I go, hey, you know what? Bank, I'll give you 40K for that fucking house. So then the bank goes through and they look at it, they talk about it, they go, you know what? We'll eat that 60K because it's better than eating the 100 and letting it sit and doing all
Right.
this and that. You know, because banks don't think economy's changing. They don't want to be landlords. They don't hold on to things. So
They want to get something is better than nothing.
correct, right? So they, you know, and depending on how long it had been, you know, that's the whole idea of interest, right? Like
Mhm.
these people you pay interest payments. Now they've made money, you know, if it's 15, 20 years, right? So people couldn't refinance, couldn't keep their house. So that's kind of what happened. Well, so, you know, that's a big, huge thing to understand is like we couldn't sell things right now. Now, foreclosures, yes, they're happening right now, but what I'm seeing for foreclosures is the numbers don't work. So you have to get into this idea. And let's just be stupid. Three to $400,000 house, right? Okay, so somebody, you know, so a couple, right? And here's the problem that happens: a couple goes and buys a $300,000 house. You know, they're doesn't matter the age, whatever. So they have jobs. One of them's a manager, and the other one's an employee. You know, kind of a secretary. I don't care. Like, let's just come up with things. Um, they're making enough money to make this $300,000 payment. Okay, so multiple things could happen, right? So then they go buy a car afterwards. So they make their own financial bad decisions. Taxes go up, things like that. Anyway, so that house was worth 300K when they bought it. Now they're a year in, 2 years in, and they've only made, you know, $1,000 worth because the first 5 years you're not even touching that principal.
All you're doing is paying interest.
Right. Pretty much. So like a foreclosed house within the first 3 to 5 years, you know, like literally it's $300,000. You still owe $300,000 in this house. Sure, a couple bucks here and there, but like you're not,
$299.
right. You're not.
$299.
Let's go with 280, right? And after you pay, you know, the salespeople, oh my God, the agents and things like that, you're not walking away with any money, right? You're upside down and things like that. So you have a choice to like let it go. So foreclosures, really, I wouldn't be looking at them because everybody went out in these past couple of years, the economy was booming, things were going well, jobs were created, people, middle management, and so now what we're seeing is like these middle management jobs are getting taken away. These things, right? Like all so
That's the easiest thing to cut at this point is the middle management job.
easily, right?
Because they have so many of them and they really don't need them.
You know, it's right. And so I can pay you 80,000 or I can bring the new guy up at 55.
Yep.
Right? Because everybody wants, you know, $15 an hour, $20 an hour. Great, we're gonna give it to you, but it's gonna come off of the next person, right? Well, you know what? Hey, if this guy's making 50 or 30 an hour, we could pay this guy 22 when he was only making 20. I've saved myself $8,
Yep.
right? So it's just bump one up and fire two, you know, and then make him more responsible for two areas. So, but yeah, so you're seeing a lot of that, you know, the people that are, you know, losing pay, losing jobs type of a thing. They shouldn't have bought that expensive house in the first place. But hey, that's hearsay, whatever.
Yeah, but that happened so much in the last 22, 25 years.
Oh.
I mean, people were sitting there going, well, I have a little bit of money. I can afford that $350,000 or $400,000 house.
Yep.
But in actuality, they couldn't.
Correct.
So like when I look at my house, I have one of the cheaper mortgages in our neighborhood
Yeah, probably.
because I bought it before the crash and I bought it at a rate that I could afford. So I bought a $132,000 house.
Yep.
That within the year was worth 100,000. So I lost 32,000 worth of my money immediately.
Yep.
And we've had this talk before. So Scotty asked me, what'd you do? Well, I paid my mortgage. Of course I did. I wasn't going to get rid of it. Right. So why are you worried about a crash if your plan is to keep paying your mortgage?
Yep.
Great point.
If you can.
Right. So I could always afford to pay the mortgage. So I just kept paying it. And then when we got to really low rates, I called Rob, who's a good friend of ours.
Yep.
Rob Delator. If you're looking for a mortgage person, hit him up. And I refinanced my house. And one of the questions I asked when we were doing that was, how often does Loan Depot sell loans off to another company? He goes, doesn't happen often.
All of mine. Say,
Mine was sold to Chase within a year.
yeah, exactly. Say all. I have I walk in with 7. We talk about it. I have 7 of my 7 to Chase. I think they literally sold the entire portfolio to Chase at one point.
Which, I mean, it happens. So whatever, as long as I'm still able to do what I need to do, I really don't give a shit. It's just a different company I'm writing the check to. And I can make bi-weekly payments, and I can make extra payments on the principal. And I've been doing that, you know, and I'm going to pay it off early.
It's such an amazing thing that most people don't utilize, right? Guys, do bi-weekly payments. Like,
Absolutely.
it is something that will change yourself for generations. I mean, was it you and I that were doing the mathematics or whatever? And it was like one extra payment cuts off 3 years,
Something
seven
like
years.
that.
Like, it's stupid. One extra payment every year
Yeah.
cuts off so many years.
Well, you're making 26 payments now, instead of 12.
So 12, yeah.
Which, if you were equaling that out,
Well, you're making 13 payments, right?
correct. Because if you're equaling that out, 12 payments, if you cut it bi-weekly, is 24, but you're actually making 26. So that's one whole payment. And all it does is go straight to your interest.
Your principal.
Sorry, straight to your principal.
Yeah.
Swear I'm not drunk.
Same. But well, and that's just it, right? Like it because it's the extra. And you know, if you get paid bi-weekly, you're probably the broke person, you know, when there's only 4 weeks in the month, but then when that 5th week's in there, okay, now we're talking, right?
Well, and if you're not a regular listener to Bucks and Brews, so we've talked about this as well. So we were asked a question one time of, don't they say that it's better to, instead of making those extra payments on your mortgage, take and invest that money? So like, I have an interest rate that's under 3%, so it's like 2.75.
Yep.
If I take that money and put it into the market instead, am I going to make better than a 2.75 return? Yeah, I am. For this year,
Theoretically,
in my 403B this year, I made about 9%.
Well, so even if you put it into a CD,
right? CDs right now paying like 5%.
Yep.
So you're going to make more doing that.
Correct.
But I've always said, and you've always backed me up on this, you have to know what type of investor you are. So I just turned 47.
Mhm.
My loan will be paid off by sometime mid 31 if I don't do anything drastic.
Mhm.
Okay. Which then makes it a 10-year loan. The 15-year loan will be paid in 10.
Yep.
Which that's great. So in 31, what is that? 6 years from now? 7 years from now.
Yeah.
So I'll be 54 years old and I'll have no more mortgage.
Yeah. And this is where, okay, so and from 54 to 59 and a half is where you grind, right? You keep making that payment towards investments. It's not going to do enough for you in that time, but it will, like, if you've been doing the right stuff along the way and you're close, now we have basically 6 years of money just stashed away of payment that you were used to. And now we can start looking at, do I retire at 59 and a half? No, I don't need to. 60, 63. Now we're guaranteeing ourselves that we can do it at a, you know, now we're guaranteeing retirement, right?
Well, you know, and we can look at small samples to see what we get. So started investing for my daughter in like 2018. Took 10,000 from her at the beginning of the pandemic and threw it into stocks.
Yep.
So we invested $14,500. Her portfolio just in those investments right now is sitting at 29,000. Plus she has 2 IRAs and an investment account, which give her another, let's say 35,000.
Sure.
So she's got 60,000 ish in investments at 29 years old.
Yep.
Now, how did she get that money? Well, dad paid for a lot of shit. So she was able to take her money and just sock it away in the bank. And she doesn't spend crazy or anything. You know, she'll do some things here and there, but for the most part, she doesn't spend her savings. So she trusts her dad enough because he's a smart investor to go and invest that money. Now, did I pick some losers? I picked some fucking losers. But did I pick some winners? My God, some of the shit I picked for her, like, I bought one stock and I want to say $120 a share. And right now it's sitting around 560. So, I mean, it's just exploded.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, right. What you get for playing individual stocks, right? Some things are going to work, some things aren't. You know, and we say it all the time, like, start young, everybody makes fun of me, and even my mom and stuff, right? Like, hey, my daughter doesn't need a birthday present necessarily. Like, get her something small, but then give me the rest of it in cash, and I'll throw it into her savings, right?
Yeah, or betterment or
right, index funds, something like that.
something.
Oh well, mom, trust me, like 10, had you done it have you done $50 for every Christmas and every birthday and got her something small, whatever, like it should be so much better off, right?
Well, and your daughter will love a toy
Yeah,
for 15 minutes.
maybe.
And then 20 minutes later, she's forgotten about that toy.
Yep.
And she won't have any appreciation for the $50 you just threw in an index fund.
None.
But when she's 25 and she looks at that amount of money, she's going to go, fuck, I'm glad my dad is who my dad is.
Oh yeah. Well, that's it, right? And when and if I pass away, and let's say I'm 90 and my kids, God, I don't know, 20 years younger, so whatever that is, 70, right? And say, she's like, man, now I'm really retired, right? I mean, so
You hope she's retired before that.
hoping. Right?
Well, I mean, that's my goal for my daughter all the time. When I sat here in 21 and I talked about if I drop dead, I need you to give them money advice. It wasn't because I had the ultimate confidence in you. It's that I have no confidence that they know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
They're not going to understand what to do with all of this money. And I know Nick does. Out of everybody I have in my life, the one person I can go to that will have an idea is you. Yeah, I see we're frozen.
I say, and that's, the basic idea is to have people that you can rely on.
Shall we pause?
Yeah, let's give it a stop.
Few technical difficulties there, but we are now back. Hopefully our viewers on Twitch come back.
Let's hope.
Anyways, so totally lost our train of thought.
Yeah.
Because we had this bullshit happen.
All right, let's just get back to foreclosures quickly.
Yeah. So talk about foreclosures a little more.
Yeah. Right. So in my opinion, finding a foreclosure right now is not your best way to go about getting something to flip or to do something.
Not even a pre?
Right. I mean, we'll say pre-foreclosure, because again, all that matters at the end of the day is numbers, right?
Yeah.
So now if this is a foreclosure where somebody's lived there for a longer period of time and things are going, now we can go find something, right? Because there's multiple types of people out in this world, David. So there's somebody who, they get told they're going to lose their job. They have no idea if they're going to find a new one.
Yep.
And so they instantly take, like, they jump and they're just like, cool, we're going to sell everything. They're going to freak out mode.
Yep.
They're going to get money for their property, right? Then there's people who think that they can grind through it, people who think that it's going to be okay. And yeah, it is what it is. And then along those lines, and so some of them work themselves out, get themselves back on track. And then there's some of them who just curl up in a ball, don't give a shit about what happens, and just let it go into foreclosure, right? I don't really care. Cool, come take it. And then when they're done, then they'll figure it out from there. So, if a person's owned it for quite a while and they're looking to just get rid of it so they don't have the foreclosure, it's not a foreclosure if you're in pre-foreclosure. Okay. So if you've missed a payment or two, you're still fine. Once you actually have that sheriff's sale, and once that's where the foreclosure actually happens.
Right.
So you can still go buy a house at any point. So like, let's say you have a house that's worth $200,000, you owe $100,000 on it. You have to get rid of this thing within minutes. So yeah, okay, hey, you're not gonna get the full 200, especially right now. Like, things are kind of weird. Like, nobody's gonna pay you full value because the economy's not doing what it was a little bit ago, right? So you're gonna get somebody to come in and offer you, hopefully more than what you owe on it, and you'll go walk away with a few bucks.
Well, let's say if it's 1 or 200, they offer you 180.
If you can do this before you miss your first payment,
yeah.
So giving yourself the 3 months to get the place closed and do all that, yeah, you'll get that 200, you'll get that 180, you'll get it, right? Like, hey, now we're guaranteed.
A little farther, we're gonna be dropping that.
The closer we get to that date where you need to sell, and the faster I have to come up with cash, the cheaper I'm buying.
140, 120.
So my numbers, right?
Yeah.
Just to kind of walk people through how I do this. Okay. So if it's $200,000, right?
Mhm.
I do a 75% of that, right? So my bare minimum offer is $150,000. Okay. Now, depending on the condition of the house. So now I minus my repairs.
So if you have to put in $50,000 worth of work,
$1,000. Yep. $100,000.
but if you only have to put in, let's say 5,000,
Yep.
you might come to them with 145.
145 is my offer. So, right now, let's say you owe 100,000 on it. Again, and it needs 50,000, and I'm doing the 75% rule. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of money, right? I'm going to try to offer you that 105, 107.
Mhm.
I'll cover your closing costs so that way you walk away with a check.
Mhm.
Enough to get you to that next spot, enough to do the thing, right? I'm not gonna I'm gonna make sure you don't have the foreclosure on your record. That's about the biggest thing I'm doing, right? Like I'm not, that way your life doesn't get screwed for the next 7 years, right? Like
Because it's just like bankruptcy.
it's exactly
That carries on your permanent record
for 7 years.
for 7 years.
So, right, I'm not gonna give you every dime on it, right? Now, if you have a house that's in great condition, it's ready to go, sure. I'm gonna offer you 150 for it. You're gonna make 50. I have a potential to make 50. And we say that. So here's the thing, right? Okay, so and this is the thing people don't understand. Okay, so it's a $200,000 house, and everybody goes, why are you offering so little? Okay, so times 0.75. So I'm at $150,000. Now, if I add my closing costs and I add, fees and things like that, I'm at like 155,000,
Mhm.
depending 160. So let's just go with 155, but like, so at plus 5,000 for cost. You know, I have my holding cost into this. Now, if I'm not repairing it, let's just say I'm buying it to take the opportunity to list it. So it's going to take me 3 months and that's if I hit a home run. Kind of
Right.
like it sucks to say that, but like because it takes 45 to 60 days and for a house to really get on the market and get it close. So now I have to go in there, and this is how it works, right? So you're going to take time to move, right?
Yep.
Do your stuff.
30 days, let's say.
Yeah, okay. So then now I have to get my cleaner in there. That's going to take me a day, two, whatever, within the week, and then I have to get my agent in there,
Mhm.
which is going to take the photos, get the listing. So that's within that same week. So now I'm at 37 days,
Yeah,
right?
you're 5 weeks.
Yep. Hopefully there's no holidays.
Yeah.
So I'm 5 weeks before I list it. Now that next weekend, I'm having my first open house. So I'm 6 weeks in. And then I have 45 days until if I get an offer on that day, now I have 45 days to get closing. So I have 3 months of holding cost. I'm still paying taxes. I'm paying water, gas, electric. I'm paying all of it on it. Sure, there's nobody living there. It's not huge, but it's still a cost.
It's money.
Right. And it's a fee that adds up that people don't realize.
So what do you think? You pay an extra 5,000-10,000?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's say, and then let's say, depending on the $200,000 house for the 3 months, let's divide that. So let's say 1,200, 12 because it's non-homestead. So probably, yeah, after all the fees and everything, say let's just roll it in, another $3,000, right?
So now you're up to 158.
Yep. Okay, 158. Okay, so I'm at 158. Now if I sell it for $200,000, right? I times that. So closing cost and realtor fees, right? Because realtor fees are usually 6%, closing costs and all that usually adds up to 10%. Okay. Times 0.1, which is $20,000. Okay.
So now you're up to 178.
178. So now I take my 200 that I sold it for minus my 178 is $22,000. That's if everything goes perfect, no repair, no anything, nothing like that. Sure, in 3 months ish or so, I've made $22,000. The owner walked away with their 50,000, right? Because I paid their closing. I said if I'm paying their closing costs, that's this number looks more like 180, so I'm making 20,000. That's if everything goes well in that first little bit of time.
You're taking all the risk.
Right, 100%, and getting we just talked about it. So I'm $30,000 in fees on the side of things. So, you gotta you gotta figure out those types of things. Again, that's why I offer what I offer. My suggestion is things to look for. So the best tip I can give anybody,
Mhm.
it just takes a little bit of work. So find a house that has a mailbox. So it's gonna be hard. You're gonna play like hide and seek, right? It's not really hard. It's just not things that people notice. So this is a tip and a trick that people don't notice. So if there's not a for sale sign out front, you're gonna look for a little green piece of paper in people's mailboxes. It usually hangs out the flap and things like that, right? And it's a sign that the house or the unit is vacant, right? So it's a multifamily. That means one unit's vacant, and what that means is the owner hasn't filled it. So they're either stressed, frustrated, anything like all the above. Don't give a shit, too busy, whatever. Now that's when we go call on that house because, hey, I mean, if it's not filled, right? Have you at an open spot to where I can make this negotiation for anybody that's looking for a house? It could be that it's getting in that pre-foreclosure. They moved out and it hasn't done that. It could be that these people, right, just moved and are going to list. There's a million things, right? But like, look for the green piece of paper that's in the mailbox that says, "Hey, this house is vacant," right? And then you're gonna find you'll Google that address, and trust me, Google will get you guys everything. It's a little sure. Is there faster ways to do things? You're not at the professional level. I can teach you a little bit more. We could dive into that in another episode.
Mhm.
But let's talk about the basic person that wants to start out and doesn't want to spend a shit ton of money, right? So you're driving around, you have nothing, you see this green piece of paper, you literally Google the address. Googling that will get you really close to a person's name, right?
Mhm.
Taking that person's name, you're going to go into yelloworwhitepages.com. You're going to find a phone number, maybe, right? There's chances. So yes, there's some websites. Honestly, it'll cost you $1 to pull the information, $1, and you'll get that person's phone number. You'll get their new address. You'll get something, right? So now we're tracking this. You can, and honestly, right? I say I can pick a million different. You're gonna have to do some work, right?
Mhm.
So if I wanted to find 123 Main Street, figure out who owned it. I'm gonna hop on 123 Main Street in Google, find the name, and honestly, if I find a name, I'm just going on to. Here's the thing: I have balls. Hey,
You
like
do.
I would go onto Facebook and be like, "Hey, I see that you own or lived at this property. I'm looking to buy one. Are you interested in selling?" And I had the person. Oh, me and my wife are getting divorced. Kerr, hell yeah, I'll sell it to you. Okay. And so then I buy it for pennies on the dollar because he doesn't want her to have any money.
Right.
So, the same as women. Actually, I find that more women don't want the men to have money than I do the men.
Oh,
to have money.
100%.
It's kind of weird how that works, but
There's a realtor in the area I get fucking mail from every month.
yeah, because they want to buy the house.
I've sent a few back and said if I'm gonna sell to Nick Watkins. Fuck off. I literally said that,
That's all.
and I still get mail every fucking month.
Yeah, they don't know how to turn things off. They're just so dumb. But right, so that's a quick tip and trick for you. So here's another thing for new people that want to do this. So you have to find here's when you're going to find out how hungry the world is. Okay. I just told my buddy this. He doesn't do it, right? It's laziness, it's fear, it's whatever, right? It's they don't want to insult people. I don't have a problem insulting you. How much is your house worth, David?
How much?
Just pick a random number.
Let's say it's 250.
250. You listed it on the MLS. It's been over a week.
Yeah.
I'm offering you $150,000.
Okay.
I'm writing you a fucking offer. Okay. Literally. So here, the whole idea, what I'm making a point of for everybody that can't see and do, find an agent, go onto the MLS, go onto things, right? And anything that's past, pick a date, pick an amount of time. Honestly, I like to pick 10 days or more because that way you've gone through at least one open house.
Yep.
And nobody won for that open house. So now we go. And 10 days, sometimes it's too easy. Like, honestly, I love to pick the things that have been up there for 100 days or 50, like 2 months, whatever it is. And I am offering, I'm literally taking the asking price. And sure, even if they've cut it, right? Because I just looked at the house. They wanted $950,000 just about a year ago.
Yeah.
They dropped it, they've dropped it, they've dropped it. They're down to $740,000.
Okay.
They wanted 950, they're at 740. So right?
Can I guess?
What?
6.
What my offer would be?
Yeah.
Currently? No. So, and the funny thing is like, guys, as much as everybody picks on Zillow will tell you what things people have bought for. Sure, we don't know how much they put into it. But so 750 is what we're gonna say it is. I am offering not that, sorry. Not times, so I'm offering $450,000, right? And honestly, and so that's about what they paid. I'll look at it and say, hey, they paid 450. So sure, I don't have to be exact, but like if I can make 40% thing off of what they're wanting, sure, I have no problem. If we negotiate and they come back at 500,000, why wouldn't I? I just got myself $450,000 off, right?
Yeah.
I don't. You can always go up. You can't go back down. I mean, you can. That's more in commercial, but but like let's be clear. So anyway, the whole point is go on to the MLS, get an agent that is literally willing to grind and, hey, if you find somebody that says, hey, I'll show you anything, I'll do whatever. Get that person, see how much they really are telling the truth, right? I want you to go on and write, even if it's 5 offers a day, all you have to do is just click. You're offering 60 cents on the asking price. So $100,000, we're offering 60,000. $200,000, we're offering, 120,000, right? Like literally, we're just sitting here pumping out offer after offer after offer. Yes, 99.9% of people are not going to take it.
Yep.
But what percentage is?
Well, that 1%.
Right. 0.1% is going to take this. So I need to throw 1,000 offers out there to get one. I mean, tell me you wouldn't throw 1,000. If I told you could make $20,000 and all you have to do is just click, 5 pages with a signature, click, and you're not even fucking signing. You're literally clicking your initials. Just one time, you have to type your initials in and then type your fucking name, and dot loop will do the rest of it for you. Okay. Click. That's all you're doing for 1,000 times. And if you get one and you literally just turn around and list it because you're willing to take sure, you're going to have some sitting time and stuff like that, but you throw it back up and hope that somebody's going to buy that for that price. If you really think it's worth the original asking price, right? Even if you make 20%, I don't know about you, $20,000 and all I did was click a fucking button. Seems legit.
Well, again, it's a numbers game, just like everything is. When I was looking for a job and Priority hired me, I sent out about 500 resumes. I got 2 interviews. I got 1 offer.
Yeah, and
and it was horrible odds. 2 interviews out of 500 resumes. That's awful. But I got an offer.
Yep, and took one, right?
And I took it.
But, oh, sorry, excuse me. Right, and that's what it separates. It's funny. If everybody asks, "Oh, Nick, do you do that?" Not anymore. Did I in the beginning? Yeah. Yep, I did. Right. I've also knocked on doors. So more tips and things like all the advice I give people on here is advice that I've done or known that it's worked, right? Because another thing to do is we talked about it on the OJ, TJ, ZJ episode.
Yeah.
Right. Ask them what their landlords, so if you find a duplex or, something, or people that are renting and they hate it, right? Ask them what their landlord's phone number is, right? I love getting people's landlord's phone numbers. Hey, yep, I'm just calling about this house. Oh, how'd you get my number? You know what? Say somebody said you might be interested in selling. Oh, who's somebody? I don't know. I just honestly, this person just said, here, call this person. They're thinking about selling. Oh, I'm not thinking about selling. Well, is there a price that you would? I mean, you have a rental, right? Well, yeah. So now you know a little bit about them and things like that. Oh yeah. I mean, sure, there's gonna be some sales to it, but again, if I'm finding this person all day, right? And it's funny, you'll be surprised when you find one rental. Yeah, I don't know. There's people that own 1 rental. There is, right? There's the you and Dawn who got divorced and you now own a second house kind of a thing or whatever. I don't know. She went and moved with Caitlin. You guys are keeping the one house for a rental. It's like whatever. There's people that own one.
Yep.
There's people that own a shit ton.
Yeah.
And there's old guys who are really just being like, "Yep, I'm good." Like, hey, actually, I don't want to sell that one, but this one just pissed me off, so I'd sell you this. Well, how do you do? Like, yes, I want the one that's pissing you off. You know what? You keep the one that's making you money, buddy.
Yeah.
Let me see that one that's pissing you off. Yeah, I could see how this one's pissing you off. I'd be so mad if these tenants didn't pay me too. Yep, just it's not worth my time, not worth. And because fuck, when you're an old landlord and you're just loaded like that, dude, the $700 that you think these people make is not worth it, right? It's like, okay, so property taxes on one of my properties just property taxes just came out, and one of them is $4,000 just for the summer, right? If I'm getting $1,200 in rent, that's 3.5 months. So I'm chasing the other 9 months, 8.5 months. Well, that's if I'm not paying any utilities or whatever. But so the money's not necessarily worth it. It's you have an equity play, you have things like that, but like it's not all cupcakes and rainbows that everybody thinks it is. So landlords are not getting rich off of one house; they're getting rich off of 50.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Let's say so if you want, I'm not. Let's say I can teach you, but I'd have to charge because my milkshake brings the boys there. But like really and I do think there's people that can teach things better than we can.
Yeah.
And they'll say it in different ways. For anybody still listening, there's a thing called driving for dollars. So what you're gonna do is get in your car, literally pick a neighborhood. You're gonna drive up and down every block of a neighborhood, right? So if I could say it doesn't matter. My mom lives, I'll pick Byron Center to Burlingame, right, which is about a mile. And I will pick, from 36 to there's a street called Floyd.
Yep.
Okay. And I will literally tell
Which
myself
is only a couple blocks away
for
30 from 36.
yeah, well, it's one block. So it's
Okay.
it's okay. Floyd and 36 run east and west.
Yep.
Clyde Park,
And-
Burlingame and Byron Center run north and south.
Right.
So now I've created this block. Okay. So the big block would be 36 to 44th, Byron
Right.
Center and Burlingame. So wherever your neighborhood, anyway, so just pick. And so I cut it in half. That way I know that there's roads. And now, and it's funny because I can still do this. So Wyoming, Collingwood, Hazelwood, Mallory, Boone, and yeah, I said then you have the side one, which I don't know because anyway, so I'm going up and down every one of those roads until I hit this, the Floyd pretty
Yep.
much, and then I'm turning around and going back and just doing a thing. And I'm looking for houses with tarps on the roof. I'm looking for old siding, like old siding. So there's still wood siding and peeling paint and things like that, right?
Telltale signs that it's not necessarily taken care of, or maybe somebody's not there.
Say, yep, long grass, just some, and
You would pick my house every day
every
because
fucking day.
I have long grass
David-
and I don't give a shit about the exterior.
Yep.
We just mowed the lawn today, the first time in like 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mowed mine because my neighbor dropped his fucking blade on my lawn, but otherwise I was gonna wait till about Wednesday this week to vote, so it was ready for the
We
puppy.
have people coming Saturday.
Yeah,
so,
that's the
yeah.
whole thing. Yeah. But right, so like I'm looking for your house now, whether I'm sending you a thing or not, but like, yeah, like you have stuff outside like that tries, but it's like you have a rainbow palette, right?
Yep.
Like that's not a normal thing that you would see, right? So I'm either dealing with a crazy cat lady or
She may be.
right, but it's a possibility, or a crazy cat guy.
Right.
But right, like I am looking for that specific now again, so I can come up to you and you're gonna say no.
Yep.
But the odds of when I find a house like yours, they're gonna say no, but it's that 1% that says yes, right? Or an example, I have a house that's 5 houses from me, just right. Driveway never gets done. Like there's like some in the fall, right? When there's leaves just in the driveway, not necessarily on the ground, but like when in the driveway and things, you just tell nobody gives a shit kind of a thing,
Yep,
right?
that's my house.
Right. And so then I'm going to, so I send a letter or whatever, and oh hey, actually my brother lives there. He's got a mental disability. My mom lives with us. She's not doing well, but it's her house. Yep, we're looking to sell it. Yes, blah, blah. Great. Now I have a conversation, right? Okay, hey, what can I do to help your brother? Well, he'd prefer a 1-bedroom apartment. He'd be able to clean that way better than the 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that he's living in. We just own it, so it's easy for us.
Right.
Yes, but a 1-bedroom. I tell you what, I actually have a 1-bedroom apartment that might work out, or I could try to find you. Well, we prefer if he's over in Zealand. I'll see what I can do, right? Like no problem. And if I can nail that, like now I have an opportunity to buy something, right? Fixing people's problems is always a big thing. But so yeah, drive for dollars. And then there's a lot of YouTube videos. Literally the words you're going to type into YouTube is driving for dollars. There's a million ways to do it. They're all kind of basically the same. Somebody's just going to teach you a little bit different in how to do it. And I don't know anybody who I would suggest because you just follow some people and you'll get the basics of how to do it. And now we're starting to direct market. Now, if you want to buy the house yourself, great. We, find somebody that's going to lend you the money on it. Kind of, well, I don't know what to do at this point, right? Okay, well, figure out. Again, I just gave you the numbers, right? So you're going to go onto Zillow, or you're going to just Google, type it in. So it's going to pop up. Hey, this is what we think and you don't have to be perfect, right? Everybody thinks you have to be perfect. Sure. If you're dealing with a different area, there's not necessarily so much work. Let's give Allegan an opportunity. Okay. Which those in our
County or
local,
city?
oh, I don't fuck city.
Okay.
So in Allegan, there is a 4,000 square foot house that sells for $1.2 million. Right next door, there's a trailer that is broke down and beat up. By next door, I mean, these are bigger lots, so like, quarter acre away, kind of, they're half acre away. And Zillow's going to tell you it's worth 200,000 because you have a 1.4, it should, but it like
But it's not.
right. Like, and so, you're going to find some tricky areas, but for the most part, right? If you're driving in a place where houses are back to back or, cookie cutter or whatever it is, things like that, you're going to be able to hop on to Zillow and let's say Zillow's $20,000 off. Okay. So if Zillow tells you the house is worth 200, but it's actually only worth 180, right? So at 200,000, we're offering we're offering 75% minus repairs. And if you don't know what repairs are, that's fine. As long as you can communicate with this person and get to talk to them to see if they want to sell, bring somebody with you, right? There's always somebody who's find a contractor that you're going to sell it to make the money off of it, right? So at 75%, 75 is 150, and off of 180,000 is 135. So you're at $15,000 difference. So you made a $15,000 oopsie daisy. But again, you're selling it and you're going to make you'll make $5,000 instead of 10 or instead of 20, right? Sucks. It's a risk, but you're still making money.
Right.
You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be precise, right? Again, this is, yes, if you're literally scared, I say, if your numbers are so tight to where you're only going to make $5,000, don't do the deal. Never do the deal. I don't touch anything unless I'm going to make 20 to 25,000 bucks, right?
And obviously hoping to make more.
Oh, of course, right? But like my bare minimum, like if somebody says, "Oh, hey, you're going to get this margin," like I don't know, I got a house that came through today. It was like, "Oh, we want 200 and the ARV is 150." No, like sure, it looks like 50,000 bucks, but I have to still buy it, which again, we talked about the closing cost. No, I have to do 10% on the backside closing, right? Which is $20,000. So that puts me at 30. I have the holding and I'm gonna have to do repairs to this thing. $20,000. So I've lost money on the deal. It doesn't make any sense. So I try to hold things. So which I have a renter in my house, hopefully August 1st, 2nd.
That most recent one?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and I'm starting to be a real landlord. So I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm getting $1,700 for a 2-bedroom house.
I mean, that's kind of the going rate.
Yeah, but I'm letting you know that I have other people living in places that are
Paying half of that.
exactly right. But to tell me I can't get 1,700 out of a 5-bedroom, but I can get 1,700 from a 2, and that's not, it's not normally me.
Right.
The only reason I'm charging this one is because I really want to hold it. Otherwise, I would just sell it for the 230 that it's worth. But
Right.
I don't want to pay capital gains. I'm tired of paying the government.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
Just so much extra money. But yeah, so like I say, I don't want to confuse everybody, but like foreclosures right now, it's not a bad thing to chase them. I don't know how everybody else would find. So Zillow is not great on their pre-foreclosure stuff. You can go, okay, I will give shout out to auction.com. Okay. So auction.com will give you your things that are getting ready to go to the sheriff's sale, to the auction. So it's auction.com. I should reach out to them and see if they should come on the podcast, but
that'd be good.
And yeah, but you can go in there and now, okay, it's already up, getting ready to go into sheriff's sale. And this is how you do it. Okay. So again, it's going to tell you basically what they think the sheriff is going to sell the property for. Okay. By that, it's the bank. So I don't want to get too lost in this. Okay. So again, house doesn't matter what it's worth. Anyway, so it's the person owes 150,000. The bank says how much they're going to sell it for. Right, they can take a loss, they can do the 150 itself, but you'll know once you see that number on like auction.com, that's kind of what the person, roughly around what they owe.
Yeah.
Once you get the communication, so this is where you have to go door knock. You have to figure out how to get a hold of this person. And going to door knock, you're going to be like, hey, and you can be as blunt as you you figure out how to sell yourself. I'm not going to give you guys, there's no right answer. You figure out how to do every single part of this, right?
Yep.
So, right, you can call, you can knock, and honestly go knock and say, hey, and people are going to get pissed. Hey, I seen that your house is on auction.com, which means you're ready for foreclosure. I can help you out, keep you out of foreclosure. We have to move fast. Do you know when the sheriff's sale date is? It's a 99% of people are going to tell you to go fuck yourself, get off, fuck off my lawn, right? Like, but it's that person that I have a friend who's a female who just somehow, because everybody like females are
non-threatening.
I'm 6'1" and a big bearded man, right?
Yeah.
Like the only thing I have going is I dress like a fucking bum.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why people tend to talk to me because I don't look like I'm coming to gouge the shit out of them, right? And there's funny because people are gonna say, "Oh, you are going." No, I'm not. I'm here to help and get you from, because again, yes, because I'm not making you a fucking millionaire and giving you the exact amount you should. That doesn't make me a bad person. I just went over the numbers and I'm taking all this risk for 20 fucking grand, right? Like, yeah. But you know what I did? Saved your life for the next 7 years to not give you a foreclosure. And that cost, right? Like,
see, and if I'm in that situation and you come to me, I'm listening.
Yeah, hopefully.
Like if you come to me right now and say, hey, I'll give you this for your house, I'm going to tell you to piss off. Because I know what my house is worth, and I'm going to have it paid off in the next less than 10 years, like 8 years.
Even if I gave you what it was worth, you still wouldn't sell it.
No, because I'm not interested in moving.
Correct.
I have no reason to, and that's fine.
Yep.
But again, if you don't make the offer, then you don't know.
Yep.
You have no fucking clue.
So yeah, go on there, and you're gonna have to go to these. You're gonna have to go to these people and just say, hey, I can help you out. It's going to have to be, quick financing, quick cash, quick deals. You can do that with hard money lenders. And honestly, just Google hard money lender. Again, guys, it's funny. I am the least technology person here. Google is your machine. It's mine.
Friend.
Really, you're going to Google the address. You're going to Google the names. You're going to Google hard money lender. And hard money lender, most of them don't want to deal with dumb people. And it's not that you're dumb, it's that you're naive. But like, go, hey, all right. If you go by my numbers and go, hey, I offered 75% loan to value minus what I think repairs are, I need this amount of money. They're going to go, oh, all right. How many deals have you done? Oh, it's my first one. No shit. You seem to got your things together, right? Like, how'd you know to offer this, Because most people, right? They're just like you, right? When, hey, 200,000, I'll give you 180. What the fuck's 180? Like, it's not going to do anything. You couldn't even put that up. Nice. That's amazing. So, right? Like you're you're not going to make any money if you turn around and sell the damn house. So, um, yeah, I would start there. Any other
No, I think that hit most of my questions. I mean, we've talked about me trying to dabble in this stuff before, and I don't really have the desire
Yeah.
to be a landlord or to flip house. It's a lot of work that I don't have time or energy to put into.
or patience?
Right. And again, there are people that do. I mean, you do. So that,
I'm too dumb to do anything else.
well,
say
you learned how to do it, and that's, made you successful. And that's a great thing. I mean, I'm good at investments, which is making not me, but my daughter successful.
well, and the worst part is like, and I mean this with respect because you're just like me. You would be horrible at flipping for the most part.
Yeah.
Not because you're not handy, because you're cheap,
Very cheap.
right? We're having a conversation with your daughter, and I'm sitting here telling her what I find is better material.
Mhm.
And yes, it costs 20 cents extra a square. But in my brain, I know that over the next 10 years, she's going to get fucked for $40.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. I get that it's $40, or let's say it's $100. It's $100, but you're going to
It's not even,
regret that.
it's not even the money for her.
Well, for her, it's not.
I just like the way this looks better.
Right, which is
I
fine.
get that, but
Yep. Well, and for you, but for you, normally, right, you'd buy the cheaper one.
I mean,
If you were going into a flip house,
if I was going into a flip house, I
Yeah.
would.
of course you would. And trust me, I started out that way, right? Oh, hey, that light's on sale. It's a black light. Not a black light, like glow in the dark, but like a black around the outside.
Right.
And then I'd turn around and
The
the back,
fixture.
yeah, the fixture. Yep. And then the vanity fucking light, I'd get a white one because it was on clearance, right? Like my first flip, it was just like, oh man, I found this on Craigslist. What was cheap? What was this? What was that? Like it was a rental, right? I didn't flip it. I rented it, right? Because again, it was functionality quality. 79 cent a square foot Menards special flooring is what we put on the floor. It's absolute dog shit. And I feel bad because again, it was functionality. Like it's probably destroyed. They've probably replaced it by now. But I just never thought about wear and tear. I never thought about because I offered quality in the fact of like it looked good when it was done in the sense, but like I never, because again, it functioned. But I never thought about longevity. Never thought about these things, right?
Well,
Now,
even when I was looking for houses,
yeah,
my mother would go, well, you need to look for this, you need to look for that. I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. She goes, but people do. Right. I'm not those people. I don't give a shit if I have mismatched fixtures.
Yep.
Doesn't fucking matter to me. Does it work?
Yep.
But again, I'm not the average buyer here.
let's say you guys did cabinets in your house, and so you've updated and things like that, which is great. But like, none of my houses that I've ever done have I ever put custom cabinetry in. Okay, I don't do $500,000 houses. It's just not my forte. I grew up in a, now it's a $200,000, $250,000 neighborhood. Really, it's $100,000 neighborhood. Like it's just inflation. It's not. My mom picked it up for 35, right?
Mhm.
Like, but so I understand this. I understand the $250,000 and less house. I understand the base, but like at 250, the what I offer now, like new cabinets, like new, beautiful flooring, things like that. Like I'm offering a really great new house for a really good, like in the neighbor, everybody's going to pay 250. I can either buy the dated one or I can buy the updated one, right? And hey, this guy's already done the work and it looks beautiful, right? We are sure. Don't get me wrong. There's still times where I don't put a Moen faucet in. Because if it's a half bath, where I'm not putting a $90 faucet into a half bath because I know that half bath, that sink's only going to get used once per 10 times that somebody's using the real bath, right?
Yep.
So yes, I'm putting in a Master Force or whatever, Menard special kind of a thing. Sure. Instead of paying $100, I did pay $20. I've saved myself $80. That there's certain things that I will, but like there's nothing wrong. One, I just know lasts for forever. One, I know is there to do functioning, right? A lot of my rentals, unless it's clearance, I'm putting in the, hey, it functions, it works, right? Because a tenant's just gonna break it. So, it's saying you'll learn, right? Like I do tile backsplashes now. I do tile showers, right? I don't do surround. If there's a surround there, I'll leave it, and if it's a good condition, and we'll get it painted. Otherwise, really, we're offering something that's going to last for a very long time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing you get every time you do something, you get a little better at it. We've learned that with break room.
Yeah.
So, we started with 2 rooms, and we had, these wooden spools for tables, and we finally put up a board on the wall because we were smashing through concrete.
Yeah.
We had the sound dampening things that they use in studios up on the wall. And then we came to this place and we're like, well, we're going to do this, that, and the other. The floors were upside down floor tiles taped with duct tape.
Yeah.
And then we figured out, all right, well, we need to do better this time. So now we got 5 rooms, and every room is constructed a million times better. And we have, interlocking rubber flooring, no more fucking floor tiles upside down. You learn what works and what doesn't work. So when we go to the 3rd place after, next year, we're going to know that, hey, we need to have more than 5 rooms. We need to have a room specifically for cars. We need to have a bigger entry area. We know all of these things because we know what has worked and hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So when you're flipping a house, you figure out quickly what does work and what doesn't work. And that makes you more successful if you're learning every time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Listen, if you think you know everything, you're full of shit.
You never know everything.
Right. I learn on everything that I do all the time. Right. I say this one, this house, don't get me wrong, it was the fastest we've ever flipped a house. But the painting, I paid somebody else. It's a bright freaking blue versus the dark blue that I normally go with. I said it's fine, whatever. The overspray has cost me so much money. Like, it's stupid, right? I mean, so you learn, hey, money and things like that. But good enough is fine with me sometimes. So it doesn't change anything. So
you got anything to leave everybody with?
Guys, as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We appreciate you listening. David, the clouds.
Yes.
Say from Rabbits Brewing, thanks for the sponsor. I'm sorry you're closed.
I really enjoyed my sponsorship from you. That wild sour blueberry crumble was excellent. It wasn't that overly sour.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. And then the Mother Schmucker is always great.
Always.
So next week we will be live, I believe, on Tuesday.
Yes.
With Peter Coulis Dominguez talking about him running for judgeship. Please join us for that. If you have questions specifically, reach out. I'm going to get up pretty soon here. Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm going to get this one up before next week's episode airs so that, people will know what's going on. I'm going to try to be a little better about uploading, which I've been pretty crappy about lately. But yeah, lots of good things coming up on Bucks and Brews. Join us for that. We're going to do, like I said, a crossover with Mad Men Mental Health, talk some mental health shit. And as always, we'll be with you next week. So thanks for joining.
You've dialed in
To Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these
because
stuff.
they know the brews.
And they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money, bucks,
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
Brews.
and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.